Hi guys, welcome to the Fight-ish channel. Former World Heavyweight Champion Anthony Joshua is unlikely to be able to take revenge from the offender, the current IBF, WBO, WBA title holder Alexander Usyk, according to Tyson Fury's sub-promoter Frank Warren. He shared his opinion with Boxing Social. Warren joked, saying that Usyk is not Andy Ruiz, who trained with a refrigerator before the rematch. He's an absolute pro and will be in shape. He has already fought with AJ and I think wore him out, the functionary said. The only way for Joshua to win a rematch is not to try to box, but to break him. And here are the questions. Will he be able to do so? If he can and got throw bombs, if he can and goes to throw bombs, will he open up strong enough for Usyk to catch him on a counterattack? The promoter says that he still prefers Alexander in the rematch. No matter who is in his corner, he will have to change a lot. It's not just about the coach, but also about the attitude to the fight. According to my feelings, Usyk just calculated it. It was surprised how easily he did it. Moreover, he beat him because of a jab from a long distance, not a short one. And twice I was close to an early victory. He has an outstanding coach in the person of Anatoly Lomachenko, Warren said. The famous American columnist Dan Rafael estimated the probability of a fight for the title of absolute heavyweight champion in 2022. I talked to Bob Arum about it and he said it was a plan. Now there are no mandatory applicants to be reckoned with. The WBC will not create problems, because they have just organized a sanctioned fight. The WBA has its own concerns related to the abolition of their regular belts. The IBF has not yet identified a contender, and besides they have a rule that allows for unification. The same goes for the WBO. Of course, we are talking about a reasonable framework, and the end of 2022 seems quite realistic time, although there is a long way between the conversations and the event, the journalist said. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard absolutely every day and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. Watch the video all the way to the end and like it. A new epic by definition of the absolute heavyweight champion of the world, and that unexpectedly for boxing fans, but is quite expected for those who are jaded in its organization. Another breakdown of negotiations, when the main fight of the year between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk was already close. This time there was one exception. Anthony Joshua and Whyte initially agreed to a multi-million-dollar settlement, so as not to interfere with the fight between Fury and Usyk, but at the last minute they refused it. It seems that there was a not without the promoter of both boxers, Eddie Hearn. However, this is not the worst option for fans, because instead of one top fight we will see three. The winners of the Usyk-Joshua and Fury-Whyte fights will definitely meet each other. Negotiations of the fight between Usyk and Fury lasted since November, and for the sake of his organization, the Arab sheikhs were ready to shell out $135 million. By the end of January, representatives of the United Heavyweight World Champion Alexander Usyk and WBC title holder Tyson Fury came as close as possible to agreeing on the first fight in the history of the Royal Division for all championship belts. For the sake of this, Joshua alone was offered $20 million, and the mandatory challenger for the Fury title, Whyte, a little less, but still the biggest money in his career, $6.7 million. The Telegraph journalist even managed to report that AJ agreed to such a development with the obligatory condition to meet with the winner of the Usyk-Fury fight. The promoter of the Ukrainian Alexander Usyk admitted that negotiations with the Gypsy Kings team have been going on since November last year. I can confirm that negotiations on a fight with Fury have been taking place since November. But until the final positions are reached, a rematch against Joshua remains the basic option. Everything should clear up before the middle of February. But everything became clear much early. At first, Joshua said that he allegedly had not heard anything about such a generous offer. You know what pisses me off in these interviews? They quote me there, but I know for sure that I didn't say anything. Where do these people get their information? I hear it being said that Joshua has agreed to a 20 million settlement. I have not signed or seen that contract. So don't listen to anything that doesn't come from me. I manage my own destiny. I run my own business. I'm a smart person. And I always make informed decisions. Don't listen to any other sources. If I report it, it means that it is. A few days later, the line was drawn by Fury himself, who was as active as possible on social networks telling the details of the negotiations. I have to record this video to say Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are the worst businessmen in history. Today they have lost $90 million. Yesterday, British media reported that Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte's promoter Eddie Hearn refused the proposed compensation at the last minute, and they planned to take them from the prize money of the Usyk-Joshua fight. The sponsors of this fight were sheikhs from Saudi Arabia. If the contract for the fight between Usyk and Fury was signed, the fight will take place in Saudi Arabia in the summer. Investors have allocated an astronomical $135 million for the organization of the battle. He needed to explain what was happening somehow. According to Eddie, it turned out that Tyson Fury didn't want to fight with Alexander Usyk. The reality is that Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight Alexander Usyk in the next fight. He wants to fight in March before going out to fight for the absolute. I don't understand that. Now he suddenly wants to fight with Dillian Whyte and not with Usyk. So we are waiting for a promotional auction tomorrow, says Hearn. The money was really on the table, but it's not just about the money. Anthony is not interested in just taking the money and forgetting himself. If there is an opportunity for him to have a big fight in which the best heavyweight on the planet will be determined, then this may be an attractive option for a lot of money. Usyk vs Joshua and Fury vs Whyte are top fights that will definitely not disappoint. Vitaly Klitschko argued Joshua to take revenge. If he steps aside now at this moment, when the boxing audience is expecting a rematch and wants to see Joshua against Usyk again, he will show weakness. Joshua, don't do this, please. If Joshua steps aside, I'm not sure that the interest in Joshua will be as great in the future. The fight has to take place. It's a grand fight. It's likely that both of the fights will take place in the spring in the United Kingdom and will cause great interest. Dillian Whyte has been in the status of an official contender for the title for several years, and definitely deserved his chance. Given his maximally attacking manner of fighting, and the way the Gypsy King has added in this regard, this fight is hardly inferior in entertainment to Tyson's third duel against Wilder. The promotional auction is due to take place tomorrow. Despite the fact that the advantage of the Ukrainian in the first fight against Joshua was obvious to everyone, definitely the rematch will not be like that. It seems that AJ makes the right conclusions after a painful defeat. He has completely changed his angle and approaches the training process in a completely different way. In particular, he actively takes wrestling lessons in order to increase the level of work in the in-fit. In the first fight, Joshua had big problems with breaking the distance. Anthony also admitted that he chose the wrong tactics to fight with Usyk. Boxing with such a cool boxer is definitely not his element. Only this is enough to expect intrigue from the rematch, because the heaviest fights in Alexander's career were against boxers who fought from a position of strength: Maurice Bridges and Derek Chisora. Therefore, for fans, 3 top fights are definitely better than 1. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.